Hello everyone, I'd like to talk you through our MSc in Design Management for the postgrads. My name is Vanessa Northway and I am the Associate Head of School at the School of Textiles and Design. I'm currently based at our Dubai campus and I have been here since 2009. My first role was to come in and set up the school here in Dubai, and as time's gone on I'm now extended out into the wider school and I'm overseeing fashion and fashion technology programs at our UK campus, and I'm also overseeing our design management program held both at our Dubai campus and also at our Scottish Borders campus. So what is design management? So design management theory and practice looks at all the different aspects of the business that come together and that need to form and develop an innovative product. So through the process of design management, it's not just focused on the design of the product, it looks at everything surrounding it. So such things as the consumer, the customer journey, we also look at the financials within a business, and it's about the holistic firm. It's about thinking about all the different areas that need to be developed and need to be worked on in order to get the product out. Now the product must be innovative, must be creative to meet the needs of today's consumer, and everything that design management does is focus always on the end product but mostly on the customer. Now in the past people have produced products and then tried to find a market to sell the product to. These days we look very much at the consumer first, what their journey is, what their wants, needs and desires are, and we develop a product suitable for that end user. So let's have a look at who design management is for. It's not just for those who actually take part in the design process, it's for other members of the team involved in developing the product for an innovative solution. So design management is a great choice for anybody who is actually in the design industry or anybody who is in charge of a design department, but it's also for creative directors of companies. We can look through to different disciplines as well, such as banking, for example. Banks will always need innovative products and services for their customers, and design management helps to kind of conjure up ideas and develop ideas through to fruition suitable for the customer and the market that they're actually designing the product or the service for. It's really suitable for anybody who works within a corporation or even a design agency, as well as academics who need to know and need to explore how to get a product or service suitable for their market. So for example, if you're an educator and you're looking at a new program for your students, you would obviously undertake market research, but you would also map the journey of your customer, and in that situation that would be the student. Where does the student get their information from? How and what does a student want these days? What is suitable for students graduating? What subjects will you study if you come and undertake the MSc in Design Management? So this will give you an idea of the portfolio of courses and subject areas that you will study with the postgraduate in design management. So we look at design thinking and process. Now design thinking and process is suitable for anybody who needs to develop a product. So it looks at how you form a product, it looks at the innovation behind a product, it also looks at the different processes involved from creativity to original inspiration, and again matching it to your end customer's needs, wants and desires. It's very important in today's market that we look at sustainability, so we have a course specialised in sustainable design and management, and this allows our students to be able to be global thinkers in this particular area. There's obviously design management itself, okay, and this is threaded into everything that you do. There is a specific course within the program which is relevant and only specific to design management, and this is where you'll learn all the different facets of design management, from marketing through to noting who your customer is, how to map their customer journey, how to develop the product. So we look at the design thinking and process stage and bring that back into the design management framework, and we also look at the holistic firm. We look at the holistic company to see how all the different departments are responsible for making sure that product gets into the stores or gets to the end user. Design technology innovation, this is another course that you will undertake. Now it's very important that once we have an idea that we can actually present the idea in a very professional and creative manner. Design technology also looks at the different technologies that are on the market and available to actually help present your work, or to use technology in terms of being able to develop a further product and promote that to your customer, your client and or your end user. Now, as part of your postgraduate journey, you will need to undertake your dissertation, and to help you with this, research methods is built into your program. So during research methods, this is where you will learn how to research your particular specialized area that you choose. It will also help you to start preparing a proposal ahead of your dissertation. Dissertations change and develop, so that's its own entity, and on the screen here you can see we call it the master's project. Okay, but research methods really helps to train you to really think about all the different parts of research that underpin everything that we do. So we need to make sure that you're not just jumping from A to Z, but that you've actually got the whole process mapped out, and that you're able to identify key parts of the research process that you can actually then bring back into your work. There are other options as well, and electives that you can take as a design management student, and you get options. You can take 2 options out of the 4 that I'm going to go through with you, one being human resources. Now, depending on your area that you are prepared to go into in terms of your work, or where you are already within your work, human resources might be an area that you want to explore further and have some more sound, solid information to build up your postgraduate degree. We also have systems and thinking. Again, it depends on which area that you are thinking about going out into after your postgrad, or the current mode of work that you're actually in at the moment. Project management, we can look at how a project needs to come to fruition from beginning, middle to end, and the project management course, if this is an area that you would like to specialize in or have more knowledge in, is a really good course for you to take, so you can actually map out how a project begins from beginning to end. And the last elective you can take is international marketing. And again, go back and reiterate, depends on where you are now in your current mode of work, or where you would like to be after you've graduated. So the design management program is a series of courses or modules put together to make sure that when our graduates leave us, that they've actually then completed their 1 year full-time or 2 years part-time of study, and they've been able to show both academic, creative and innovative problem solving and solutions. So what will you learn while you're undertaking your design management MSc? Let's just have a look at some of the different courses and some of the different subjects that you're going to be looking at during this program. Design thinking and process allows you the space in which to nurture how to find out what your customer needs. So we know that we need to know what they want, but it allows you some time and space to actually think about how we find out what they want. So we can do a customer journey profile, for example. We can do a customer behavior profile. We need to brainstorm ideas. So through ideation, we can brainstorm ideas, we can come up with as many creative solutions as possible, but we eventually need to focus on one product that's going to go to market. Prototyping. Design thinking and process allows you within the course the ability and the time to prototype your product and or your service. So I put a little note here just to say, remember, a prototype is just a rough draft. It's just an initial sketch or an initial product, an initial model that you can then put out to test market to see if your customer will actually be welcoming of this product once it arrives within store or on the market. The last part of design thinking and process is the testing. So once you've shared your prototype idea, you need to then get the feedback. You need to get the testing done with your client, your customer and your end user. You need to find out what worked, you need to find out what didn't, and only then can we go back to the original plan or back to the original drawing board and then further develop that area in the product. During your time in the program, you'll also be looking at digital innovation. Now, digital innovation is a very key part of any discipline these days. You need to know how to not just present your work, but really present your ideas, and that you can then fine-tune this to actually meet the needs of your client. You need to work out how they will actually receive the information. So it's going to be through a digital format these days, but are you going to be sending it via email, for example? Are you actually going to be doing an actual presentation or an online presentation? Digital innovation and technologies also looks at different types of technology that are coming through, newer technology, and different ways in which you can express and showcase your actual idea for your product or your service. One of the key areas in design management is consumer behaviour. We need to know who our customers are, we need to know how they behave, we need to know where they are, we need to know what they buy. So we need to look at all the different ways in which we can map our customer or our client. So we need to see how they behave. So how do we do this? Now, consumer behaviour is quite a big topic, but we can break things down. So we can look at our customer in terms of the segmentation. We can look at the geographics, for example, where they live. We can look at the demographics, who they are. We can look at the sociographics, what they like, and we can look at how they behave. The consumer decision-making process is also very key. So at what point in that process, in that decision-making process, can we launch our product to them? So let's just have a little bit more of a think about that. So the first step that a consumer needs to do is find out that they've actually got a problem or a need, i.e. I need a new telephone, mine is broken. The next thing that the customer will then do is research. They'll go off and they will try to find ways to find information about all the new telephones on the market. Potentially, they might just do a very shallow search, in which case they might just come up with one or two different options. So point one is looking at the problem that they've identified. Point two, they need to go and research. Now that could be a point that we can actually touch them on, and we could get our product out to them at that point via social media, etc., through all the different means that we advertise and promote our products these days. The third part is for them to actually think, which one do I want? So the evaluation of all the different alternatives. Now a customer could potentially look at what the product does and how it serves them. They could also be very key at looking at things like price points. The fourth part is the purchasing. Once they've undertaken all their research and they've decided and evaluated all the different alternatives, that's the point at which they will go and purchase their product. So how can we make sure that they purchase that product from us? And that's where design management and design thinking and process all come together to make sure that as part of this consumer behavior journey, that we are the company that the consumer purchases from. The last step of this decision-making process is the post-purchase evaluation. So clients, customers will be thinking, does this product work as I think it would? Have they helped me to get this product? Does it really work well? Have they answered all my questions that I've needed on this product? And they will then come up with a scale of maybe 1 out of 10 or 5 out of 10 or 6 out of 10, how good that product actually is. Consumer behavior and customer journey are very key to design management. Customer journey looks and maps how and what our customers are looking at. So for example, you can see from this diagram here, we've identified our customer all the way through to getting the product into store. Now in the middle are a series of different steps which we need to take to make sure that we are in line with them, so that our timelines are all matched up. At what point does the customer search? And then into the promotional side, where do they search? So how can we make sure that all of our promotional activities for our products or services match what our customer is looking at and where they're looking at it for? The reviews, for example, how do we make sure that we can actually get ourselves into the reviews that our customers look at? And marketing, how do we make sure that our product is being sold to them in terms of a lifestyle product or a life-changing experience if they have our product or service? So what is it that they will react to? We also identify the product value through the framework of design management. So it's very important that a product has, yes, a price, a specific price, either by dollar or by pound or whichever currency that we're looking at. We need to know how much that product costs in actual money, and then how much we can actually sell it to the market to. So the product value looks at, yes, what we've actually had to pay to have that product developed and made, but it also looks at what the customer will actually pay. What value does it add to the customer's life or to the end user's life? And potentially that's a higher price than the profit. So we have first the cost price. This is the price that we have to make to be able to break even. Then we have an extra amount added to the top, which is our profit. But what is the value of that to the customer or to our group of customers? And this will then help us to work out how much we can actually charge for that particular product. We also look at the product life cycle. So once we establish who our customer is, once we have our amazing product that we've developed and designed, and it's innovative and it's creative, we need to look at how and when we're going to be able to introduce that product to the market. So we look at the product life cycle in its most basic form, when we introduce it to the market, when we believe it will grow, when we think the market will mature, and when we think we might be into decline. Now, when we're launching a new product onto the market, we might be launching a totally brand new product where we don't have any historical information. So the best that we can do at that point is to guesstimate how our consumer, how our customer or end user will behave. Products that are already established have history to them. So for example, if we took iPhone, they already know how and when they should introduce themselves into the market when they have a new product and a new phone that comes out or new model. Okay, and they begin to understand the reoccurring patterns. So the product life cycle is very key to finding out when is the best time to launch the product, and when we can make the most profits, or when we can make the most sales, and when we can potentially start to see the product go into decline. We also look at the marketing mix. Again, it's all part of making sure our product hits the right people at the right time and in the right way. And the marketing mix makes up a series of different facets, including the price, the product itself, who we're going to get this to, how we're going to promote it, and which is the best place to actually sell this. We look at the physical evidence. What are people responding to? There's a continuous line of feedback and testimonials that we need to seek from our client, our customer, and our end user. By having this information to hand, this is what helps us to develop further the marketing mix for one product to the next product, or for a series of different products. Now, we have a wide variety of different students who undertake design management. We have some who do come from your traditional background of design, whether they be interior designers or whether they be architects. But we also have people from a wide variety of different disciplines and employment. So, for example, we currently have a chef, and the chef that sits in my class has come to do design management because she doesn't just want to make the end product, i.e. the meal. She wants to actually think about what the customer wants. What does my customer want to do within the restaurant and in the environment? So she's looking beyond just the food. And when a customer goes to a restaurant, for example, they aren't just looking at the food, even though that's extremely important, if not the most important, but they're looking at the ambience, they're looking at the people around them, they're looking at the creation of an atmosphere around them. So this particular student has come, the chef, she's come to us because she wants to learn all these different facets about design management that will help her within her hospitality specialism, which is in the food and beverage area. We also have engineers who come to us, so they are very mechanical. They have a wide range of different engineering backgrounds, such as civil, for example, but there is a link to design. But what they are looking for is to become and move into a more management zone. So they have all the skills that they need within their specified area, i.e. civil design, civil engineering. But what they want to now be is a manager. And rather than go and do a bulk standard business postgraduate program, what they would like to do is have something more specific to looking at the innovation of the product, thinking about the customer and client, and looking at new technologies in which to be able to present the work and the final projects. In order to apply for Design Management MSc, you will need to provide us with a copy of your degree certificate and any other relevant transcripts that you have. We would appreciate also your resume so that we can actually see your background. Not everybody will come straight from an undergraduate degree into a postgraduate program. Some of you will have worked for 2 to 3 years or longer and now be looking to come back to either take the Design Management MSc part-time or full-time. So we need to have your resume so we can see your background. You will also need proof of your ability in the English language if it's not your mother tongue. You need to have strong grades. We would like to see a portfolio to support your application. We do appreciate that not all of you will have come from a design background, and therefore an art portfolio might not be what you present, but a good showcase of work that you've undertaken within the area that you've specialised in terms of your work. We will also consider those who have a related professional experience of at least 3 or more years, and we would like very much to see your portfolio of work that you have undertaken.